Hello, everybody. Suzanne Snyder-Johnson here with Sail Beyond Cancer Vermont and with our weekly informational session with Experience Matters. And today we are very honored to have very special friends, Tim and Candy Kavanagh. We're going to come on in just 1 second. But today we are talking about the month of March, which is colorectal cancer. I probably said it wrong, but colorectal cancer, and some really great information and advice from these wonderful two people. So hello, you two.
Hey.
Thank you both for doing this on a beautiful sunny day. I'm sure it's sunny where you are. It's sunny right here in Vermont, so I think it's nice. But thank you both for being here. We're here we would love to hear your thoughts and advice, both of you. Tim, you're obviously right in it, and Candy, you are right there too. And so any kind of advice that you can share with us from either of your perspectives that you think our audience would like to learn from, that'd be great. So, Tim, can you give us some advice about what has this been like? What is something was like, oh my God, I wish I knew this information about?
Wow, great question. First of all, thank you for having both Candy and I on this and letting us speak, because it is National Colorectal Awareness Month, which is why we wear blue today, because blue is the color for, yes, look at you. I even switched to my blue frames today.
Oh, baby, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, which means I can't see anything right now.
I bet you Candy kind of probably helped on that too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good.
But you know what an opening question, because you know when you're faced with something like this, and I did what I was supposed to do. I had my first colonoscopy at age 50, and when I came out from under my colonoscopy, which is not a big deal, people. Okay, so let's get that myth out of the way. When it comes time to get that colonoscopy, just do it. The drugs that they give you, you don't care if they're sending a camera or a film crew up there, because it doesn't matter. And it's about getting better, and it's about finding out, because then if you don't do it, it just sits in the back of your head, back of your mind all the time. Colorectal cancer is the #2 leading cause of death for men and women in this country. But yeah, #2. No pun intended there. Or maybe there was.
Maybe there was.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
But when treated, and when you have your colonoscopies and all the prevention that is out there readily available, it is 90% curable when detected early. So think about that. Nice. Just having that regular colonoscopy, and going in when you're supposed to, or if you're at risk, if you have a family, a family history of it, then obviously you're going to go earlier. Last year or over the past couple of years, the American Cancer Society has decided to go ahead and reduce the first colonoscopy for individuals from age 50 down to age 45, and that's because there is a rising risk, an increase of people with colorectal cancer.
Tim, is this something that is more prominent in men than women? Do you know?
That's another great question. It's almost even. It's a little bit higher in men. I think it's 1 in 24 men versus 1 in 22 women will get colorectal cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. And
it's actually higher in I'm sorry to cut. No. But African Americans have a higher risk of colorectal cancer.
That's wild. And then once you have one, you should be having these colonoscopies every how many years?
Well, it depends. It depends by the individual. If it comes out the way that it did with me, where I was diagnosed with stage 2 rectal cancer, then I'm getting one every 3 to 5 years. If you're all clear, then they say that you could go back to 10 years. So it's all based upon the individual themselves.
Interesting. And so the risks are the people, like you just said, I mean, age is part of it. a little bit more risk with men than women that we know of at this moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, African Americans. If you have physical inactivity, if you are a heavy drinker, tobacco use, type 2 diabetes, if you're overweight, these are all at-risk factors for colorectal cancer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, okay, so let's say, are there any signs? Like, let's say somebody's been blowing off getting their colonoscopy. What kind of signs that you've heard of, like physical signs that they're linking to, oh my gosh, I need to do something now?
Yeah. I'll use me as an example. My work has me traveling a lot, and I was experiencing chronic diarrhea. Not the thing we want to talk
This
about
is such
on
a nice,
Sunday,
yeah. It's true though, right?
And so I was concerned, but then, thanks to WebMD, I looked it up and they said after 2 to 3 weeks, you should consult your primary care. So I did, and went in, and my PCP said, hey, listen, you know what? I think that because you travel a lot, I think you have what we refer to as traveler's crud. You're from city to city, you're drinking different water systems, all of this stuff, different foods. So he gave me 3 days of antibiotics and it cleared it up. But it was his nurse practitioner, Diane Bell, who said, hey, guess what? You're turning 50 next month. Why don't we have you come in for your colonoscopy? And I said, hey. So
that's what I want to do.
So I did. And, thank God I did, because I really didn't have symptoms. I didn't feel sick. I didn't think that I had cancer. And lo and behold, I come out of my colonoscopy and diagnosed with stage 2 rectal cancer.
Yeah. Wow. And then you're going right into it from there.
Yeah.
Is there any other kind of thoughts? And, you've been living with, this has been now 2 years, 3 years?
5 years. 5 years in May.
Oh my gosh. Of course, yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay, so along that little journey, and Candy, definitely chime in too whenever you want, but are there any other sort of aha moments for either of you to say, wow, I wish we knew this then?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that it's really important, obviously everyone has their own primary care doctor, or hopefully you do, and your own local hospital. But I can't stress the importance enough of a second opinion, or even a third opinion. In the case of me, being diagnosed in Vermont, the surgeon recommended a second opinion, and we did. And when I was re-diagnosed the second time, we because it was a little bit more complicated, they feel that it came back. Well, it did. It came back in my interior abdominal wall, so like my stomach lining, behind my stomach, in front of my stomach. And they feel that possibly what had happened is when they removed the cancer the first time, that it had hit the wall and reseeded itself, and that's why I had a recurrence.
Interesting.
And so because of because of that complication, the Vermont hospital said, this is a little bit more complicated. We need to refer you to someone else. And a friend of mine, best friend, had just gone through a similar procedure at Kettering in New York. And I actually just got the doctor's name, called his office. I remember specifically, it was a Tuesday. I stated my case. They called back within an hour and they said, we know you're in Vermont, but we do have an opening this Thursday. And I said, book me. We'll be there.
Wow.
So second opinions, third opinions, whatever you have to do, it's so important.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And Candy, do you have any other thoughts about, and we were going to get into the caregiver side of it, but in terms of, it's always hard when you're the person, you're the patient, right? Sometimes there's so much thrown at you, you forget certain things. Not that you're going to forget anything, Tim, but are there other pieces of advice that you would give us as these are the things that we wish we knew then, or even halfway through? Or are there any other aha moments for you?
There have been aha moments through, Tim's been diagnosed 3 different times. So each time, each journey, we've learned so many new things. And I feel like he's had cancer, 3 different times, but our experience has been entirely different each of those times.
Wow.
And I thought I had learned so much the first time. I was shocked when the second time was so different. And then the third time was different yet again. So, you know, gentle with yourself as the caregiver, nurture yourself, because as Tim was saying, you know, we found out on a Tuesday and that Thursday we were in New York. So be ready for anything, I would say, and be ready to let them have the process, be there with them, be ready to jump if you can. Some people don't have that. You know, they're working these 9-to-5 jobs and don't have flexibility. And that can be really challenging. However, I think it's just so important to remind yourself that you're not going to have the answers.
Right.
To really stay grounded. The patient's going through so much in their own mind, having so many emotions. Right. And I found that if I could let Tim have that and kind of, he's going to steer the ship, and I'm just there making sure that the environment is as, you know, as safe and secure feeling as it can. My emotions to him are positive and warm and nurturing, and just letting him know that we're in this together.
Yeah.
And the whole time, if I'm, you know, feeling all his emotions and letting that fear get the best of me, then I can't be that for him.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a lot of meditation and lots of faith and praying and letting people be there for us. That was hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm very independent, but, you know, letting that process happen and just ride with it as best you can.
I think it's important, you know, if I can echo off of that, you know, friends and loved ones want to help. They just don't know how to a lot of times. So saying yes and okay is really hard. It was hard for Candy and I, but then, you know, we realized that we're in this battle and everyone wants to help lift us out of this battle together. So being able to say yes is a big thing, and make sure that you can, that you do say yes. Let your friends and your loved ones help you. And along that note, you know, when we said that we were going down, we called on a Tuesday and we're going down on a Thursday, and a friend of ours gave us airline tickets, you know, mileage points that he had acquired, and said, no, let me take care of this. But then, and we had to go back and forth, fly back and forth, and the out of pocket was like, you know, steep. And then a cousin of mine out of Massachusetts, who's the company she works for, donated to this organization called Angel Flight. And like all nonprofits, like yours, Suzanne, you know, Sail Beyond Cancer, who's there for respite sales for those with cancer or who have gone through cancer. There's so many wonderful organizations out there that can help individuals and help families through this. You know, back home we have Cancer Patient Support Foundation, but Angel Flight was one of these true angels that basically what it is, it's an organization of private pilots and their airplanes, and they donate their time and their airplane, and they fly people with medical needs to where they need to go.
So did you end up going on multiple same flights with the same instructor or same owner?
I wish they had a frequent flyer program with this, because we'd be a million miles now.
We've enjoyed your vision from the skies, that's for sure, with some of those beautiful photos of your heading back down. But
I think that 25 missions now, 25.
I think it's over 25 missions that we've actually.
Wow.
With them. And it's, you know, it's not only the angels in the sky being the pilots, but there's ground angels, and they have transport, picks you up at the airport and brings you either to, you know, where you're staying, or if you're going directly to the hospital, which has been many of the times for us. And then they coordinate to pick you back up when you're all done and get you back to the airport again. So
and I think that's important with the care is your care is number one. You know, I see a lot of times the tendency to think my finances, I can't do this. I can't, it's not possible. So much is possible. And cannot urge people enough, both patients and caregivers and families, to just remain in that state of mind of, if money wasn't an object, if that was not a consideration, what would I do? And drive your healing process from there, from that point.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice.
Because so much can open up.
Do you find that when you mentioned, Candy, that, each time the new diagnosis was happening, was it more of a surprise that made it hard to get your heads around this? Is it that you were thinking, okay, we're done, we're good, and then all of a sudden, no, guess what? Not yet. Was it the challenge of having that new diagnosis, or just everything kind of compounding?
It's a mixture of all of those. So for Tim's 50th birthday, we had ended up kind of arranging a trip to Costa Rica. So on our way back, he tells me he's getting his colonoscopy the next day. And I'm like, who does that? Who goes on vacation and gets a colonoscopy the next day?
I figured with all the mango margaritas, I was pretty.
Yeah.
So we were on this high. We had such a great vacation. And then the very next day, he's diagnosed with stage 2 colorectal cancer.
Vacation glow gone.
Yeah, I guess right.
The shock was so profound. And the second time was, WTF, like,
what the hell?
We did the right things. This wasn't supposed to happen, and there was a level of anger, but it was like, oh, we got through it the first time. We can do this again. What other routes do we want to take? And we jumped right back into this optimistic path quickly.
Yep.
The third time, I would say the anger lasted a good 5 weeks for me.
Yeah.
I don't know for Tim, but I was really angry, and that was a strange emotion for both of us, I think, to last that long.
Yeah.
I went more into this, like, what has cancer robbed us of, and the amount of time, and I allowed yourself to go there, I would say. And
plus we were planning our wedding.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And then
there's been a lot of mixing of roads, of things.
Yeah.
Paths.
Yeah. I would say frustration and sucker punched would be like the best way to describe it. Kind of like just how Candy described it. So you're just like, what? And then you put your big boy pants back on and say, okay, let's go. Because when you're in it. And I think that's the difference between the cancer patient and the caregiver. Being a cancer patient, it's just like they hit a button and just like, okay, you got to follow this path. And you're just like, okay, here I go. And I understand it. And here's my questions and stuff. But it's the caregiver who's like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, why? What's happening here? What do I need to know? What does Tim need to know? What do I need to do? And, being able to reach out and just being able to not only be the ear, but also be able to many times be the voice, because when you're the cancer patient, you're kind of like going through it like in the blurred state. Like you're just
deer in the headlights, right? The deer caught in the headlights. You just can't remember. You can't remember everything that's being told to or suggested. You just lose it. You lose the capacity to hear what they're saying.
Yeah. I think one of the first things Tim and I say is like, okay, just to remind you, we're not medical professionals, so this language isn't going to work for us. Yeah. And we just kind of laugh about it. I'm like, I'm an interior designer. I can start talking about COMs and this and that. No.
Thank God my mother's a retired nurse and her Christmas letter reads like a medical journal, because that's the only practice we have. Yeah.
Well, listen, I have a question for you too, that I bet you a lot of the folks who are watching now and who will be watching this podcast or this video, what is our community? What can we do? What would be like 2 things, 3 things that you can say, all right, this is great if you could do this for us, or is there some sort of a message that you would like people to know that they can do to support you in any way, shape, or form, if there is one? I know that's throwing you. I didn't tell you that question before.
No, you didn't tell us that question. $1 million.
Yay. There you go.
I think the best thing is do this for yourself. You know, your gift to us is get your own checkup. Check with your doctor. If you're having any type of aches or pains and like that, listen to your body. Your body will tell you when something is not right, and you have to just listen to that. And we know that there's many things that we can do. And we have done. We've changed our diet. We've reduced alcohol consumption. Not that we're heavy drinkers. You know, we're maintaining a healthy weight now. I've lost almost 100 pounds since I was first diagnosed five years ago.
Yeah.
So
I'm laughing because we were just in New York City for Tim's treatments for 2.5 months, and I visited every bakery on that walk to the hospital. So I am not in a good way at
there
all.
is not a bagel or a croissant shop that she does not
He doesn't know about it. Especially near the.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was very kind, but
Although I did some damage to the 99-cent slice places that are also on every street corner.
Nice. See, you got it all figured out. Well, listen, both of you, thank you so much for being on. And if there's any other thoughts that you want to add before we hop off, and I wish everybody just being really aware. Again, this is the Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and the whole idea is to help people know and hear the signs, get involved in the community, get yourself checked out, and listen to your body when you have any signs. And even if you don't feel sick, make sure you get checked. I mean, that's the biggest part of prevention, right?
Colonoscopies could be the next great date night for you.
Yeah, that's good. I like
We'll
it.
take 2, please. Boom.
Well, you two are so wonderful. Thank you so much. And I just want you both to know, whether or not you know it or not, I think we've talked about it, but I'd love to nominate you for a sale Beyond Cancer. Yes, both of you come on out this coming summer. Absolutely. And just a quick little info here that we are starting a Caregivers program, and Candy will tell you more about that, and the rest of you more about that in the next about a month and a half from now. But it's very exciting. So really honoring caregivers like you, Candy, because you are absolutely the pillars, and you represent amazing strength and resilience of all aspects. It's like you said, asking the doctor, but
good job.
So thank you. And I would love to talk to you more about all the work you've done. We'll do that in another session. And thank you both so much. Go out and enjoy the rest of your beautiful day today.
Okay.
And really appreciate your time today. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.